atmosphere. We started going. I think our first line really got us going this game, and we're happy. Even for RV 400 points, it's huge for them to score a goal like that to go 3. So yeah, it was a better game than the last one for sure.
Yeah, Pavel Zacha. Oh, what a night for Boston sports. First of all, this team beat the hell out of the Wizards. Secondly, you know the Bruins handle business against the Blues. Oh, what a night.
Parlay
it all. Yeah, I did not. You did, right?
Boston sports parlay.
No, I should have. I haven't hit any, bro. Last night I missed an opportunity. We'll get there. We'll talk about it all show long. What else we got, boys?
Oh, well, Celtics Lakers at the Garden tonight. And could it be LeBron James' last appearance in Boston?
Oh.
How about that? Retirement tour on the ready. Red Sox made a trade, not for Joe Ryan, but they made a trade, and we're going to talk about it. Boston has entered the chat. Begins right now. Ah!
Yeah, baby. Keep your heads ringing. For Boston has entered the chat here inside our Salem Vibe City. Say it, big dog.
It's Friday.
Keep your heads ringing.
It's
It is Friday. Turn up. Travis Thomas here. 3 amigos. Here are my 2 amigos. I call him AK, Adam Kaufman. And then there's a big dog running around somewhere. Joe Murray, big dog status. Here talking to you about all your Boston teams, which are all in fuego right now. Last night was incredible, and you're right, I should have parlayed it. I didn't do it.
You know what, though? We should thank you because you didn't do it.
That's
is why
exactly
it hit.
right.
That's just one of those things.
Every time
Gamblers
I do it,
understand.
I don't hit it. 617-790-0928. Call us. Get in here. We're going to start with your hockey team. Because we said this yesterday. We're sitting around, we're talking, coming off a tough loss to the Red Wings. Bruins are going to be okay. They need to figure this out. They need to figure that out. And then we all kind of said collectively, well, at least you're playing the Blues tonight.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned. Bruins went out, handled their business, no problem, boys.
It was a beatdown, Adam. It was a beatdown. They scored early on, multi-point games by multiple people.
Yep.
Zaka, Geeky scores again. I just want to give credit to the goaltender. Korpisalo stopped 37 shots last night. The Blues did outshoot the Bees at times last night, or through the game, I believe. But I'm just looking at it as a team effort because Swayman's been playing well and he's been worked, and it was just good for him to get a night off. And Korpisalo played played very well. But just the other guys now that are scoring goals, the secondary scoring, it's really impressive. I think it is a part of what Marco Sturm is bringing to the team, but I think guys are getting opportunities, and when they get the opportunities, they are rising to the occasion.
There's been a lot of next man up with all these injuries, and you see it even yesterday with David Pastrnak missing a 4th straight game. That's your leading scorer, obviously. The fact that he was out of this one, it is more opportunity for even a guy like Alex Steves, who he doesn't stop scoring.
Steves.
You know, what is it about these, some of these depth guys are responding.
He had 1 goal ever in, Toronto. He's been a minor leaguer his whole career.
Is it system? Is it Sturm system? That's how I see it.
Sometimes it's system, it's opportunity, it's line combinations.
Who you play
it's
with,
all,
too.
it's your minutes, it's all of it comes into play. Obviously, it's looking like a guy like Morgan Geekie, who, as we know, leads the NHL in goals going back to January 1st this calendar year. He's got the most this season. He's sitting at 21. He's looking a little just sort of
unstoppable.
Well, unstoppable. I was going to say like line proof or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you just throw him out there, it feels automatic. The guy's going to score a goal. It's incredible. But yeah, I think going back to, and we could talk about Korpisalo by all means. He was excellent. 37 saves, and the Bruins winning the way they did, and by margin that they did, 5-2, despite getting outshot in this one handedly. 39-27 is impressive in and of itself. But I think the thing that I come back to is, whether it's the opponent, Jim Montgomery and his struggling Blues, who have really faltered coming into the Garden, his first game since the Bruins fired him basically a year ago. It was 20 games into last year that he lost his job. This is the first game against his old team. You wondered, are the Blues going to rally around him, sort of revenge narrative, that kind of thing? No, they got whooped. The Bruins, they were up 2-0 at the end of 1, allow a quick goal there to begin the second, and then respond instantly with a few more, and this game is sweat-free. And I think, you look at the fact that Detroit was a tough loss.
It was.
And you had to battle the whole time. And the final score looked a lot closer in the game, if you watched, actually indicated. So for the Bruins to go out and have what was really an easy, sweat-free, balanced win in terms of the minutes because you didn't really take any penalties. You could just kind of go out there and run your game the way you wanted to. They needed that. And they move up to second now in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, Joe, it's interesting with this team. I've noticed this. I'm curious if you have. They bounce back pretty well. I mean, when they lose games, or even if they lose a few in a row, Sturm, I have to give him credit because I think as a coach, you have to have the pulse on that. They bounce back pretty well. Now, it helps you play the Blues. Don't get me wrong, because we're going to get into a team they're going to see this weekend, which right now, this is a playoff game, okay? But in terms of this team bouncing back after tough losses, I think Marco Sturm does a great job getting them to do that, and they respond accordingly.
Yeah, Sturm, I think the team believes in him. They love the philosophy was an issue early on. The defensive philosophy.
They were trying to figure it out.
And now, think about it. They played so many other defensemen that now they are figuring it out. And the depth is something on this team that I don't think Don Sweeney gets credit for. Okay. I know we talk a lot about Marco Sturm, and I do think that Sturm's been, the biggest guy behind their turnaround here. But their depth, man. Like, they got guys just continuing to play, and when they're young, they put them on the second line. They don't just stuff them on a fourth line like they have in the past. So I'm giving Don Sweeney some props and some credit for what's going on here.
Adam, that's an interesting take because I remember sitting here all off season and everyone's like, what are you doing? Where are the big names? What are you doing in free agency and trades? Hey, Joe's telling you. I mean, they got depth.
Well, look, I mean, we had our noted Bruins fan, our guy Trevor in the newsroom. Sup, Trevor? He was sitting there preseason talking about, obviously, how, well, it's probably going to be a down year for the team, but the upside is, obviously, after drafting a guy like Hagens over at BC, like, at least we're getting another great pick. We got that to look forward to. True. And you might from the Maple Leafs, but it won't be your pick because obviously this team is going out and it is overachieving. Yes. Going into the season, Vegas, for whatever stock you want to put into it, the odds makers had the Bruins as one of the worst teams in the entire NHL. So to say they have gone out and overachieved would be an understatement. Yes. But it is. It does come back to some of those depth moves that because it's not a lot of the guys that were out here regularly celebrating are not these like Bruins draft picks that are coming into their own.
Steve.
These are guys that they have acquired that maybe, you go back a couple of years, like a Morgan Geekie who was a grinder in Seattle, guys who have come to Boston and found new roles, new life, new responsibility, developed, aged well, and obviously have found themselves in a much better place. But it does come back to being able to target those guys and say, all right, well, it hasn't really worked out for, Steve's here or, Minton here, but he's going to come in and he's going to make an impact with us.
Sort of a plug and play. 617-790-0928. Call us, get in here. We're talking Bruins. We want to hear from you. But let's first hear from the winning head coach in Marco Sturm and Pavel Zacha, who had not one, but 2 goals last night. Take a listen.
After the first period we started going, I think our first line really got us going this game, and we're happy, even for RV, 400 points, it's huge for them, score a goal like that, to go 3. So, it was a better game than the last one for sure.
Yeah, dealt with a big lead in a long time, and there's that Islanders game, I think. What did it feel like?
Yeah, it was nice to go into the third period to kind of focus on, how to close out the game. Those are important to win. Also, you can also lose those games, so it was good that we kind of, won in the third period, and Corpy made a great game today, so that helped us a lot.
How important is it to have a guy like Alex Steves stepping up and taking advantage of the opportunity he has?
Yeah, no, he's a great player. He's been playing really well with that line, and especially with Pascal, it's really important that these guys who get the chance. He's been playing great, and for us, it's been a huge help. Especially offensively, so you have to keep going like that, and it's great to see, guys like that stepping up.
Did you know you'd beaten the clock on the second goal?
No, I looked up and it was 0, so I wasn't sure, but when we were skating by the bench, they already told me it was in, so that felt good. Especially in the periods, it kind of puts the team down, go into the locker room, so yeah, I was happy it went that way.
All right, boys, let's turn the page now because this weekend, I said this, this is a playoff game, technically, if it started today, which we know it doesn't. But these are two teams now in the playoffs with the Bruins and the Devils. Devils right now on the wrong side of things. They've lost 3 straight. They do not look good. They've lost 3 straight against good teams as well. Bruins are a good team. The game's here. I mean, are things coming up Bruins here? We feel good about this one this weekend?
I do, and here's why. I think last night there was another motivating reason is that they can take care of business against their old coach, right?
Yeah.
I guess we didn't mention that yet. And the fact that, they beat them. Now they'll take on a Devils team that lost to Dallas. It's taking on Vegas. And
Tonight. They play Vegas tonight, so that's a back-to-back.
And then their goaltending is struggling.
Yes.
And I think that Morgan Geekie continuing to do what he does, Steve's, if he can continue with the run that he has, I think they can exploit some of the struggles. And they're missing, Hughes and some other guys as well. So they have a chance to take advantage of the Devils.
So I want to believe all of that. All of it. Here's my problem.
Okay.
This is now 8 straight games that the Bruins have alternated wins and losses.
Oh.
You and these damn trends.
The scheduled loss?
No, I didn't know. A scheduled loss is like a bad scheduled
That was
spot
a
kind of
Claude
thing.
thing.
But this,
Wicked.
this is just like the trend is ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Bruins, they have not been able to string consecutive wins together.
I said they bounce back from losses. No wonder, because they lose and win.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When they had the 7-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Which went from late October to November 11th. That is the last time this team has had consecutive wins.
What?
So it has been almost a month, 3.5 weeks, since they have won consecutive games. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you can't beat the Devils. Of course you can. This is a team that is on your level.
Yeah, and they're reeling.
These are comparable teams. They're struggling.
Yeah.
And obviously, at some point, the Bruins are going to win consecutive games again.
Yeah.
Why can't it be tomorrow? Wholly agree with all of that. I just need to see it. I just need to see it.
So you're not betting on it?
I'm not. No, I mean, I'd have to look at what the odds are.
He wants to bet on it.
Fatigue.
It comes
Think
back to
about
the
this.
number. I got to look at what the odds are.
Oh, fatigue,
who's-
back-to-back.
listen, the Bruins are dealing with injuries. And,
Yes.
and by the way,
Sure.
We should state that they're
I
winning
mean, it's
without.
nice that they're home.
Yes,
they can just wait for this game.
That's right.
They're winning without David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy. The Bruins are doing things without 2 of their pillars. And they're getting now points from Elias Lindholm, right?
Steve's.
But that's what I'm trying to say is they're doing this without their 2 best players. Fatigue will be an issue for the Devils, maybe. Oh, and by the way, McAvoy back at practice yesterday wearing the old
skating.
jersey. He's skating.
That doesn't.
That's good.
Yeah.
He's skating.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, he got.
He's getting ready for that, the Olympic team. Yeah, Swayman.
I mean,
That's right.
I'm glad that the guy that took a puck in the face is skating.
Hey, I'm glad he's back. You know what?
Don't do that.
Another motivating factor.
Took a buck to the face.
Yeah, but his legs work.
Jeez. The guy's decapitated. Coach Adam, get out there.
He's
You
the
don't
wet-
need your face.
Adam, I love you. You're the wet blanket on the bees today. What's going on with
I
that?
am not being a wet play. I'm just saying, I'm glad he skated. Cool.
Forget it. The motivation, everything's great. They're winning without Pastrnak and McAvoy's back in practice. It means nothing.
Coach,
Forget
I've
it.
broken my face. Who cares? Get out there and skate. Your legs work. Coach, jeez, bro.
I thought it was motivating.
Don't you remember
it
in
is
another team movie,
motivating.
like lost his legs or something? Go catch the ball.
Go catch your hands work. My God.
Morning skate. You see him out there? It's a motivating factor.
I'm betting on
Until
them
we get
Saturday.
a report that says like Charlie McAvoy is
Fair.
like inching closer to a return.
Yes.
Like a guy isn't, close when he's out there in a morning skate alone, before a game.
I don't know about that.
Well, listen.
Can we get him in pregame warm-ups? Then I
tell you
will
what.
feel really good about Charlie McAvoy's return.
To Joe's point about fatigue, though, so the Devils play Vegas tonight, and then the Bruins here tomorrow or on Saturday. They just lost to the Stars. Like this, I understand they're losing games, but their schedule's hellacious. Like they're losing to good teams here. So I do think, although I hear you with that trend, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. That's maddening. But at the same time, if you're going to pick your spots here, this is a spot to bet the Bruins at home against a team that's, to Joe's point, fatigue, and also they're losing to really good teams.
To both of your points, this team is wrapping up tonight against Vegas a 4-game homestand. So they're not going to be tired from travel. I mean, it's first-class travel, all that stuff. But
I mean the competition.
Sure. I mean, it's Philadelphia, Columbus, Dallas.
Yeah,
They have been
dude.
outscored throughout those games 13-6.
Oof.
All right, so 6 games across 3 games. Not great. Now, it's a little skewed because it went 3-3-0. They got
Right.
shut out. We'll see what ends up happening against the Golden Knights, who, as we know, one of the, class organizations, obviously, of the NHL and the way
Yes.
that team is performing, all of that. And so, probably will lose again. It comes back to, and again, this is as worthless a statement, quite frankly, as me saying, well, they just keep going every other win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Well, let me give you another one. Isn't a team that loses 4 in a row and now is trying to, unite on the road? No, not due, but hungry.
Okay.
Desperate. All of, all of these
They're
things.
a good team, too.
Right.
Right.
I mean, this is not again, they've got more points than you do,
That's right.
despite having lost the last 3.
That's right.
It's a good team.
I would
the
say-
Bruins are a good team.
I would even say the Devils are more talented. I wouldn't have a problem saying that.
Yeah, so they're not going to roll them, or so, I'd be surprised anyway. If the Bruins go out and win this game 5-2, without Pasternak, without McAvoy, I assume Swayman back in net, but
Yeah.
maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to give the
let's-
edge to Swayman.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I just think, again, I'm assuming, no intel here. I'm assuming that Sturm is going to kind of go, not back to an every other, but like Korpisalo went out, he performed well. No doubt about it, they win a game. But Swayman had a phenomenal November, and I don't think he's going to be scared off by a blip in the road against the Red Wings. So I would think Swayman's back out there for this one. Maybe he's motivated off of a bad game. You know what I mean? We can spin this however we want to. I would love to see the Bruins win this game just like you guys.
What do you think of your Bruins? 617-790-0928. Call. Let's get in here. We want to talk it with you when we come back. What's trending in the world of sports? We told you how awesome your hockey team is. Now we're going to talk to you about your baseball team. Roll with us. Boston has entered the chat. We'll be right back. Time now for what's trending in the world of sports. Look at the tweet from the Sox. Red Sox acquire right-handed pitcher Johan Oviedo for the password. We didn't get much time with that. Justinson Garcia. So much for that password in Boston,
Time
I
to
guess.
change your password.
I guess so. The tweets roll in. Jordan Moore tweets at us. The password didn't even get a legit chance. I mean, he's not wrong. Rye tweets, now go get Joe Ryan and Pete Alonso. Amen, Rye. I don't know if this trade triggers that, but we're with you to go get those guys, no doubt.
Let's put a poll out on Nesson's Twitter. If you can get Joe Ryan and Pete Alonso, would you give up password? Yeah, I think so.
Would it be 100% of the votes at that point?
Yeah, exactly.
617-790-0928. You want to talk Sox with us, of course.
It is true, obviously,
Yeah.
that he didn't get much of an opportunity in Boston.
He didn't.
He had a handful of games, went 1 for 7, 5 strikouts, couple of walks, brief August stint. Performed well in the minors, obviously a top
Power
10
hitter.
prospect in the
All the hype.
organization. But, we were talking about this a little bit earlier on, you got a logjam of outfielders. So
Yes.
moving him, hell, I'm still waiting for the next outfielder to move, Joe. I mean, before we even get to Oviedo and what his addition means, okay, password's gone. Is Jaron Duran gone? Is Cedar Rafaela gone? One of these guys. And Roman Anthony's not going anywhere. And I don't think Abreu ultimately is going to go anywhere.
Think Cedar
But
either, right?
I don't think so. I mean, Duran feels like the guy. He does feel like the guy. And we've talked about that extensively. And we're just kind of waiting for the shoe to either drop or not drop, I suppose. But you've already got 4 for 3 spots. And I know depth is important, but you only need so much depth. And I think password, I don't have anything bad to say about him.
Where do you
Good luck
fit
to
in?
you.
You're saying where do you fit in?
Yeah, I mean, he could compete for a starting job every day in the outfield for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Good on you. Go. I hope he performs well.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't love moving on from a power-hitting right-hander. That's one thing I don't like, but I like the move. And before I get to the move real quick, I think now they're building something here, or they're brewing for something. And I know I talked to you guys about this earlier in the week, but you didn't mention Wilyer Abreu, who, just won a home run derby in his country. I'm wondering if there's a Bayo Abreu thing for something bigger. And I think the Joe Ryan thing's still on the table. But they have a logjam of starting pitching. Forget about the outfielders, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's Hunter Dobbins. They got Tolley. They got
Patrick Sandoval, Tolley, Connolly Early.
You name them.
Cutter Crawford.
Yeah.
And that's obviously after your Crochet,
Yeah.
Bayo, Gray. That the group that is going to be in there barring a move.
So I like the Oviedo move. One, he's 6'6", he's 275, hard thrower. he had the Tommy John surgery. The Red Sox have a history of bringing in guys off Tommy John. Hendrickson, Sandoval's another one.
Well, they kind of have a history of
Paxton's
just bringing in like injured guys,
True.
right? It's sort of like reclamation projects.
Yeah.
Giolito.
Giolito.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that's what this guy is. I'm making this about the contract.
Yeah.
They talked this week about how the CBT is important to them, but I think this move helps them in that area.
Sure.
He's under team control till 27. He'll be a free agent in 28. Makes under $10 million a year. He can be a starter. He can come out of the bullpen. I just think it's a really good move. But this is what I mean by Sonny Gray, Oviedo, Crochet. I still think Bayo's in the mix with maybe an outfielder, and I'm using Abreu as potential for still Joe Ryan. I'm not giving up on the Joe Ryan deal. It's why I like this one, but I also think it helps them when it comes to the CBT.
I don't mind Bayo. I tell you what, I'd rather Bayo and Duran, I think, in that deal than Abreu.
Yeah, I think you got to sweeten the pot, though.
I don't want to. You definitely do to get a Joe Ryan, no question. 617-790-0928. We're going to move to the Celtics now. So we have a voicemail here posing a trade for the C's. Take a listen.
Hello, yes, I would trade Brown for Giannis, but definitely trade Brown for Giannis. I've been following the Boston Celtics since I was a little kid back in 1951. Right straight through the Bill Russell years, all through the years, all 18 world championships. No problem.
JB for Giannis, question mark.
No, I'm still a no.
Okay.
I'm a no for many reasons. The money, the injury that he has, I don't know, just the fact that can he play with Tatum. I'm out. I know that there's a superstar available. Maybe in the past I would have done this move, but not with this Celtics group.
Oh, so how they're currently built affects this.
And not to mention they just blew out a bunch of guys who made a lot of money. Now you're going to bring in a guy who's going to be getting a $70 million out. I'm just out. But more, I think it's about the team and what it is on the floor. But I do think that Giannis is going where the game's going. Like, he is a great player.
He's a great player.
He's a great
He's an all-time player.
And I don't like when people say no to this guy. Adam, how many years don't trade for this guy? No DeMarcus guy. Like, the Celtics always needed talent.
Boogie. Always going to bring back Boogie.
I'm not dismissing the talent.
Sure.
I'm dismissing the way it's structured.
The fit.
Exactly.
Okay.
There are a lot of components to this, and obviously we talked about this pretty extensively on the show yesterday, on Hold My Banner yesterday as well. Both those shows, if you want to go back, hear that full argument.
Check it
those
out.
are
Shout
on the Ness and YouTube page.
Shout out
sure.
Ante.
But, I guess just to handle this briefly, one thing that you didn't hit on that I do think factors into the conversation, by the way, I am also a no. I'm not trading Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and even if the money ultimately isn't all that different because as we know, come October, Giannis is due a 4-year, like $275 million deal on his max. He's getting a new contract that's going to pay him for a while. And don't, for all the Derek White, no, it's got to be Jaylen if that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. But one of the reasons, in addition to just any of them, that I am hesitant or unwilling is guy just in the wake of the report got hurt for the next 2 to 4 weeks at minimum with a strained calf. And strained calves, a lot of the time, lead to Achilles injuries, which we have just seen with Tatum, Lillard, Halliburton, Durant previously. So many guys. Now, it's not always like Durant or Giannis, I know, suffered a similar injury a couple of years back and the Achilles didn't follow. So it's not an inevitability, but a lot of the time it does happen. And so you got to wonder if you're anyone, the Knicks, the Rockets, the Spurs, anyone that would be in the mix to potentially make this move, are you trading elite player, a top 5 player in the NBA when he's right? But are you potentially dealing and paying a boatload of money, prospects, draft capital, whatever it is, for future damaged goods? And I would be incredibly reluctant to do that.
More local news for you. The FIFA World Cup draw is today at noon. Now, why it's local is because of this guy. Tom Brady's involved, along with a bunch of other celebs who literally pull teams out of a hat, like a ping pong style for the NBA lottery. So that's happening today in D.C. at noon. Remember, you're getting 7 games here, including the quarterfinals at Gillette.
Yeah.
Tweets rolling in, Owen tweets, because when I think about football, I think about Brady, Gretzky, Shaq, and Judge. So these are many of the celebrities who will be a part of this draw today. Are you guys fired up for the World Cup being here? Because I think it's awesome, especially having quarterfinals games here.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And I love the World Cup. I think it's one of the best organized, mega thing in the country. But the teams I'm looking at, Spain, England, Brazil, Argentina,
France.
And I'm betting France,
Yeah,
baby.
France.
Let's get it going. Don't even
hate
know
the
what
bet.
group they're in yet.
It's never a bad bet.
Nobody does. Hopefully they can avoid the group of death. We'll see. Yeah,
Never
it's
bad.
going to be, obviously, it's like you said, this is a worldwide competition that, for all the hype, pomp, circumstance that we revel in when it comes to the Olympics, in a lot of ways, World Cup is better, man. Like if you have any
Absolutely.
appetite for soccer, and obviously at its highest level, and that's what we're talking about here, it is exhilarating.
Mm-hmm.
And to have some of these matches anyway local, it's going to be a lot of fun down in July.
Okay, so we've done Bruins, we've done Sox, we've done Celtics. We've got to talk Patriots. We're doing that next right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Roll with us.
Hello, long-time, first-time Patriots fan. Just going into the year, where I work, I always wear a draft cap when we drafted this year. My question is basically, going into the year, how did we feel and how do we feel now? Because I just look at this and people say, hey, you're Patriots, and I say a Hail Mary, I throw the mi persino, you know what I mean? And so basically, how does it feel to be 11-2 going into this year, knowing that we were supposed to be at the schedule and all that, Drake May, but all of that going into the year, how do we feel now? And that'd be my question. Thank you.
Back in to our Salem 5 studios here. Boston Has Entered the Chat. Trav, Joe, Adam. How's it feel to be 11-2?
Elated.
Feels freaking great.
Right?
I feel like we need to get Matthew Slater out here.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be 11-2? Yeah, preseason expectations obviously were not as great. What was the win total? 7.5.
I thought they'd be 7-10.
Under 8.5. And
8.5. Yeah, I was on the over. You guys know I was talking it up all throughout the summer, the preseason, all of it.
You said playoffs. You didn't see this, but you said playoffs.
I didn't see this. I said playoffs, wild card team, 9-10 wins, sneak in kind of thing. I certainly did not see 11-2, number 1 seed in the AFC flirting with a first-round bye. And yeah, Drake May has had a ton to do with it. Dude's the MVP favorite in the NFL. Thing is, you can't do it alone, fellas.
Yeah.
He's the MVP favorite, but the Coach of the Year favorite also resides in Foxborough, and that is Mike Vrabel, which got us thinking. Tandems, right?
Combos.
Tandems in the NFL. Who's the best? Who would you want? Coach, quarterback. We all know it. Most important position on the field, and obviously then the guy that is leading the charge. And this is a sport.
These are nice.
You see that graphic behind us.
These are nice.
Coaching matters. Doesn't matter in every sport necessarily. The NFL, coaching matters. Vrabel has come in, introduced a culture, made a huge difference. We see so many names. Nix, Peyton, Lawrence Cohen, Jackson Harbaugh, the other Harbaugh with Herbert, Jones Steichen, Alan McDermott, Stroud Ryans, Rodgers Tomlin, maybe or you've heard of these guys, Mahomes and Reed.
Yeah.
They've had some success in the league. Joe, start us off here. If you're ranking tandems, who's at the top of the list?
That's Mahomes Reed. I mean, let's just leave it there first off. But this season in particular, though, all right, I know where we're going with this. May and Vrabel, what they're doing is great. I personally wanted Ben Johnson as the head coach. That's working out all right in Chicago right now. So, but on the list, it's really Bo Nix and Sean Payton. And here's why. Bo Nix is nothing without Sean Payton. Bo Nix is an old quarterback out of college without Sean Payton.
Journeyman. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to say, we're talking about a coach and a quarterback. Sean Payton has made Bo Nix. So look at them, right? They're right at the top of the AFC. I just have to be factual right now that Bo Nix would be an old quarterback without Sean Payton. That's my answer.
You guys are so disrespectful. You're acting like this guy's a grandpa. I mean, like,
He's 26.
I mean, he's only been around for a couple of years, and he's already
That's
mid to late 20s.
That's number one on your list.
Well, it's just that
right?
if we're actually talking about
Now,
a tandem,
sure.
Look at the Broncos with those two.
I'm gonna listen.
Don't you feel like the offense is pretty underwhelming? The defense has been incredible.
That's what I'm trying to say. Sean Payton has this team as the 2 seed with the underwhelming offense
I don't
that they
know.
have.
To me, that sounds like, like we're veering off course already. It's like, well, really, well, if we're ranking the coaches, then sure, you're putting Peyton high. It sounds like you'd be making him consensus
Yeah, like he's
number one.
dragging
Yeah,
Nick.
he's dragging Nick along for the ride.
He is, actually, if we're just being honest. But you asked me a question.
Sure.
I said it was Mahomes and Reed. But if I'm giving you the take is what Sean Payton's doing with Bo Nix.
I think that's a good point. We should probably reword this. It's still Mahomes and Reed in the sense that without either one of them, this team, the fact that they're even on this board tells you that it's Mahomes and Reed. It damn sure ain't Travis Kelce helping out anymore. This defense isn't what we thought. The run game's non-existent. Without Mahomes
They're
and
on
Reed,
the board because of what they've done historically. They're not right now a playoff team.
I'm saying they're not even in the hunt for a playoff team without them. Is my point.
Well, of course.
Outside of
but
that,
isn't that true of everybody you see on that board?
No,
How
that
many of
team
those
is to use an NBA term, a lottery team. Without Mahomes or Reed is my point.
I didn't even put Sean Station in this category, too, with Daniel Jones.
Here's the answer right
Saints,
here.
whatever.
This is the
put
answer.
respect on his name.
Sean Station.
No, we don't need to put respect on his name because no one's picking these losers as number one. Here's the answer. It's May and Vrabel.
Why?
You know why? I'm going to use Joe's point because he's not wrong. In a lot of ways, Sean Payton is dragging Bo Nix behind him to have the Broncos where they're at. Mike Vrabel does not have to drag Drake May, okay? Mike Vrabel's an excellent coach. We all knew it before he wasn't hired when we took the other guy, all right? So now you have an excellent coach, and all of a sudden this kid went from boys to men like the R&B group overnight. Drake May.
And I thank you.
Is not being dragged along with Mike Vrabel. They are walking together, arm in arm, and kicking everyone's arse. That's the answer. And it's the reason they're atop out of these seedings we're talking about. They're up there for a reason. That's the best combo right now. No question.
I just think for those two, and you're getting a balance. You're getting a balance. Like, Vrabel, at the time that he was hired, before he had done anything here, and obviously it has his success in Tennessee, and I'm just talking about coach, not playing days. He came in, it was like, this is a leader of men. This guy has been a coach before.
Culture.
He has gone to the playoffs. He's beaten your Patriots. He's absolutely established culture and all of these things. He's going to turn things around in here because under Gerard Mayo's watch, it was an absolute mess.
Sure.
May, though, the way that he has ascended here in year 2, first year, as a full-time starting quarterback, all of these things, I guess that it's sort of the chicken and the egg kind of thing. God, how many? I'm like biting my own tongue, not wanting to do this because how long did we do this Brady Belichick? And we still
how long
have they been?
We still do.
Why were they the best? To your point.
We did the Brady Belichick. We've always,
right.
who gets more credit, that sort of thing. The point is, they are both favorites in their respective categories to win an award that just one to me doesn't happen without the other.
Fair. I don't
Who's
have
the
a
most
problem with that.
underwhelming up there?
No, I don't know about that. I'll tell you this. Here's who scares me, and it's kind of a hot take. I already know you're going to disagree.
He's not walking to Lawrence Cohen.
Well, I tell you what. Let me answer you first. Underwhelming, these losers. I'm sorry. Shane Steichen, I'm going to give him props because with Philly, it is clear they need him as a coordinator, right? And he's doing a good job, so I'm not going to disrespect him. I am going to disrespect Daniel Jones. Please. It's almost midnight, and you're starting to look like a pumpkin. Here's a scary one. Stroud and Ryans, and I'm going to tell you why. They're very Patriot-like in that you have a young quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Now, he's a reverse of Drake May. Drake May is a rookie, had a putrid help around him, putrid coaching, took him a while. Now you give him weapons, you give him a decent line, you give him a coach. We see Drake May, right? Stroud was the opposite. Out of the gate, he was breaking records as a rook. He's regressed a little bit, a little bit. He's had some injury issues. Not a lot of it. Don't do that. C.J. Stroud's he's a good quarterback. See, I told you. I knew you were going to hate on
He's
this.
a good quarterback.
Hear me out.
Not a great
Just hear me. Just hear me. DeMeco Ryans is the most underrated coach in the NFL. That defense is the truth. They are very Patriot-like. Young quarterback, still trying to figure it out. Defensive-minded, excellent head coach. Watch out for the Texans. No one's talking about them. They're going to win that division, okay? No one talks about this either. Last playoffs, they had the Chiefs dead to rights. What happened? The same thing that always happens. All of a sudden, phantom PIs, all kinds of calls. Okay, watch out for the Texans. I'm just telling you. That's the one team no one's talking about who's going to get into this field and be a problem when we get to January. You watch.
The only other pairing that's up there that's won a Super Bowl before is Rodgers and Tomlin, right? Everybody else
Well,
is,
but not as
I'm saying, you know who's got the high ceiling here? And maybe we haven't talked about him, is Liam Cohen with Trevor Lawrence. Just hear me.
Hear him out.
Please.
This year.
Liam Cohen has done wonderful things, whether it's Will Levis in college, whether it's this. All right, so I'm just saying, can he get them into the playoffs? Is it a surprise where they're at? I just want to give Liam Cohen some respect because he chose to go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And I know I know. But I know what Trevor Lawrence is, right?
Yeah.
He's a subpar quarterback. That's just what he is. But can he get him into the playoffs, and can Liam Cohen do wonders with him? This is why the question can be, I guess, who's the best, right? It's probably Vrabel and Drake May.
Sure.
Okay? But I'm just looking at it as tandem.
Sure.
Can Liam Cohen get the most out of Trevor Lawrence?
He is.
Right? Can Sean Payton get the most out of Bo Nix?
He is.
That's what I look for when I look at a tandem and a coach.
I heard you out. I think that's a fair point. I want to ask you this, Adam, because...
But I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. All over
Go ahead.
You know why it's...
I got to get up.
I want it to be May and Vrabel. I want it to be May and Vrabel, and I believe at some point in time in the future it will be May and Vrabel. You want to know why it's not May and Vrabel today?
Who is it?
Because if I said to you, you know what? You got to win one game. Right now, everyone's got the same record. Who's your coach and quarterback? Yeah, point in that lower right-hand corner.
Yeah.
So that's your answer.
That's
the answer to the
No
question.
one's disagreeing with you. Let me ask you this. Which Harbaugh brother scares you more with their quarterback? Because they're both up here. They're both great coaches. Which one, if we're talking our boys, and they're coming into the building, which do you least want to see? Do you want to see Lamar and John, or do you want to see old Jimbo and Justin?
No, I would prefer to see Jim and Justin.
Okay, why?
Well, part of the reason is the implosion in the playoffs last year. You know, Herbert went through 2 interceptions the entire regular season, gets picked off by your Texans 4 times in that playoff game. They get absolutely destroyed.
That's right.
Harbaugh's obviously had good postseason success. He's gone to a Super Bowl, albeit not with the Chargers. You know, I love the balance of that offense to begin with. The defense has been inconsistent, but it's certainly capable. You know, the Ravens, while you have got the superior, at least in reputation, maybe still in play, but he's had some injuries this year. The superior quarterback in Lamar Jackson. What do we talk about with Lamar Jackson when we get to December, January every year?
Every year.
Hey, man, really good in the regular season. Go win your awards, but could you do something in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So it's like, until he proves it, until he shows it. And I know Harbaugh has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Harbaugh's won, but his quarterback hasn't.
That's right.
You know, we're still waiting to see something out of his quarterback, and honestly, a lot of that supporting cast around him as well. And maybe you could be out there watching, listening, and saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, what if the Chargers won? And that would be totally fair. I just happen to like LA's weapons more than I like Baltimore's weapons.
All right, that's fair.
I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have to drag Herbert. And I think Lamar is going to have to drag John Harbaugh.
Ooh.
And quite frankly, I don't know. Like, I'm looking at ceiling. You mentioned C.J. Stroud. We don't know what his ceiling. We really don't know yet.
We don't.
Again, I don't know what Trevor Lawrence's ceiling is. I know what Daniel Jones is. I know what Aaron Rodgers is. We don't know what Herbert is. We really don't.
You're fair. That's so true.
Josh Allen should be there. And they're not.
Well,
and that's why the coach.
It's McDermott.
We haven't even talked about it.
Well, because McDermott sucks.
And
that's
I think
why.
we're at that point now, right?
Yes.
Where they are now.
They need a coach.
They need Josh Allen to put them over the top because it ain't their coach.
That's
On
right.
Herbert, how long are you, and I agree with what you're saying, but to play devil's advocate for a second, how long are you waiting on Herbert? He's 27.
It's not
He's
him.
still
That's
young.
why you
It's
need
not him.
That's why they need Harbaugh.
That's
This
right.
is why they need him.
It's not him.
They built the
I guess I just mean
too.
at what point, maybe your answer's 30, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at what point do you feel like, okay, I know what Herbert is.
I can
I've seen
answer
the best
this.
of Herbert.
You know what they need? A great offseason. That team's not far off. They need now they're having injuries, so
They need
hear me
no
out.
line.
They need depth on O-line.
They lost their tackle.
That's what I'm saying. It's injury, so I want to be fair, but they need depth.
But they found guys, didn't they? They brought back Keenan Allen.
Yeah, but they need depth on the O-line. You need more weapons.
I'm good with their pass catchers.
Okay, let's do this. So it sounds like I think me and the big dogs top 3 in whatever order is the same. We're going Mahomes, Reed. We're going Drake, Vrabel. And you talked me into it. I agree. We're going Knicks and Peyton. Yeah. So our top 3 is the same. What's yours? You're going Mahomes, Reed.
Mahomes, Reed is definitely number 1.
Yes.
If, again, all things are equal and you're just starting a game
our
today
1, too.
and you need that. So that's one without a doubt.
Are you going Drake and Vrabel?
It would be hard not to.
Okay, so top 3, whatever order.
I think we agree on the top 2. I can't get to Knicks Peyton at number 3.
Who's your third?
3 is... It's tough. It's hard. It's hard. I think
it should be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
See, I think for me it's Allen McDermott.
Well, you don't like. Oh, I was going to say you don't like McDermott.
Wow.
I don't, but I think enough of Allen, what he has done with that offense.
Yeah.
Over the, I mean, it's a bucket of yuck around him, and
he hasn't won in the playoffs either.
No, he hasn't.
Do you like John Harbaugh more than McDermott?
What's Nick's done in the playoffs?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If your reasoning is I like Allen, but I don't like the coach, well, hell, I mean, Harbaugh has won, and Jackson hasn't won anything either. It's kind of the same thing.
I don't look at, and this may not be fair, I don't look at Allen as a playoff failure in the way that I look at Lamar as a playoff failure.
And you look at McDermott as the failure who's let them down. Is that fair?
I think McDermott, Harbaugh might have a job for life as far as we know. McDermott's got a shelf life. McDermott, if they implode this year, if heaven forbid they don't make the playoffs, if you're a Buffalo fan, he could be out of a job this offseason.
He should be. He should have got fired 2 years ago. What was the 13-second game? Remember that with the Chiefs?
Sure, yeah.
After that, I'm moving on. How many years ago was that? I think they had Tyreek Hill, for God's sakes. He should have been gone.
I didn't see Tua McDaniel up there. I don't know what happened with that one. They're still fighting for a playoff spot, guys.
No, Tua can't find his way to the list. His brains are scrambled
eggs.
eggs.
Can't do that.
Here's Tua.
Mike,
where's the list? Over here?
We lost him.
You look like Jackson Dart being helped off the field the other day. Mike McDaniel's still going to have a job, guys.
Where's the list?
That's the amazing thing here. We're going to move on.
You had him fired, remember?
10 times.
Where's the list? I can't find it, Coach.
We're going to see if Travis finds his way to the Garden. LeBron's coming to town. The scorching hot Celtics hosting the almost equal Lakers.
Travis, keep your heads ringing.
Boston has entered the chat.
With Jaylen out, it just seemed like this is maybe a good opportunity for other guys to kind of show what they can do and just play different roles. I mean, how important is that to give guys, maybe an added opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I think the two things that stood out to me was besides our overall team effort and physicality, I thought Jordan set the tone for us, defensive on both ends of the floor. He had, he only had 2 offensive rebounds. I felt like he had more, but I just thought he set the tone. Like he was unscreenable. Did a great job making plays defensively. I thought offensively he did a great job there, and then I thought Anthony's physicality defensively was brought to a different level. And so I don't know that it was much about guys playing different roles as much as it was guys, making sure they do their job and they play their absolute best and stick to the game plan and play with a level of physicality there. And I thought everybody did that. I thought those 2 guys stuck out in particular.
The Celtics dropped 146 points last night against Washington. Missoula ball in full effect. They never trailed last night in the game, and they did it all without Jaylen Brown. Derek White messed around with a triple-double. Didn't have it, but was close. Was close to it. Peyton Pritchard, another great night. But Jordan Walsh is the story to me, guys. I never saw him as a starter. Full transparency. I thought he'd be a guy that was always at the end of the bench that might get some reps this year. But since being inserted into the starting lineup, they're 8-2. He's been rebounding the basketball. He's 3rd on the team in rebounds right now.
Hustle.
He is a hustle guy, and he was that coming out of Arkansas. He's that stretch guy that can do everything. I've been impressed. We've seen progression from him. I got to give Missoula credit on this one for a guy who doesn't love to play young players. He certainly put him into the lineup. And just thank you, Joe Missoula. I don't know if you listen to me because I say this all the time, but can you play Josh Minot and Walsh at the same time?
You do say
Because
that.
Derek White loved it yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see it. But Adam, hold my banner, please. They crushed them last night.
They
And I
won
don't
by 45 points.
Washington stinks, but that was a thrashing.
What to say stinks is putting it politely.
smell bad.
Washington sucks.
Smelly.
Washington is arguably the worst team in the entire league
are.
by margin. Like, this team is bad. But you're down your best player, no Jaylen Brown, as you said, out with illness. Scheduled rest night for Jaylen. He wasn't too ill to go home from that loss the other night and start streaming, or win the other night, pardon me. This team is, like, as you said, 8-2 with Walsh starting. They've won 8 of 10. They've won, I think it's 5 out of 6 for that matter, against some good competition mixed in. This game, obviously, notwithstanding. Biggest blowout in the NBA we have seen all year. They win every quarter, never trail, as you noted. This was an absolute massacre. The second half, the Celtics outscored the Wizards 80-42. 80-42 in the second half. There was no resting on your laurels, taking your foot off the gas, just let's go into cruise control. They pummeled them, and it was fun to watch. Derek White, like you said, was a monster. But for Walsh, let me give you the numbers. 22 points. That's a career high. Hit all 8 of his shots. Did not miss a shot. 7 rebounds, couple of steals. He was a plus 20. Only played for 30 minutes. He played a little more than half this game and just continues to be this energetic, frenetic, playmaking lunatic out there in the best way. I'm going to disagree a little bit on the Joe Mazzulla doesn't like to play young guys thing. I just think the last couple of years with such a veteran team, he didn't have to, and there wasn't really room for them as part of your rotation. Your top 8, even 9, 10, like, these were veteran guys that were guiding you to either a championship or a deep playoff run at the very least. This year, again, you've moved on from Al Horford, from Kristaps Porzingis, from Drew Holiday. You know, if you want to put him in, Luke Cornett, Jason Tatum is sidelined. You have no choice but to play younger guys. And so whether it's Walsh, Minot, Ugo, the list goes on, Joe Mazzulla is coaching his butt off this year. And this team has now gradually, guys, I hope you paid attention preseason when all these people were on the tank train and I was telling you, just wait, this is a top 4 seed in the East, biding its time until Tatum comes back. Celtics right now are 13-9, 4 games out of the top spot in the Eastern Conference, sitting 5th. Only a game and a half back, Trav, of second place.
Well, I'm glad you gave Joe Mazzulla credit because that's who deserves all the credit. I mean, listen, no one's been harder on Joe Mazzulla than me. But at the same time, you inherited a juggernaut and you have not crashed it into a wall. We understand that this team is not the championship team that he did inherit. However, with what he's doing, mixing and matching the lineup as we talked about, I have to give him his props. He keeps his team engaged. I'm looking forward to a chess match between him and another great young coach in this league, J.J. Redick.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you right now, J.J. Redick can coach his
podcaster.
Well, that's right. He can coach his butt off. So as we look at that game, that's going to be a chess match because we all understand on paper right now, in terms of talent, it's not close. The Lakers have more talent than this team. However, it's going to come down to coaching because it's Lakers Celtics. Duh. Of course it's going to be close.
You mean LeBron's not the coach? Let's see. Did you guys see what LeBron did last night? Let's check out this tweet if we can. A historic 10-point streak has come to an end. LeBron James last night he actually passed up the game winner to Rui Hachimura in that one, had 11 assists, but a lot has happened here. LeBron, again, the last time I think he hasn't had 10 points, like Twitter didn't exist. Super Flag was 15 days old.
I think Twitter was 1 year old. But so StatMuse had these tweets, and I was looking at them. They're incredible. So LeBron, he had gone 1,297 straight games with at least 10 points. He had 8 points on 4 of 17 shooting. The fact that he didn't get there on 17 shots is insane last night. And as you said, had the ball in his hands at the end of regulation, a chance to either put up a shot, win it, get his 10 points, miss it, go to overtime, another opportunity for the 10 points. No, he made the right play, passed it to Hachimura, game-winning 3. They win. He doesn't get it. He's asked about it after the game, says, don't care. We won. That's all that matters. But, yeah, with LeBron, like you said, Cooper Flag, he was 15 days old. 15 days old
crazy.
last time LeBron didn't have 10 points in a game. I'll give you another one. This one blew my mind. LeBron has more finals appearances with 10 than he does games with single-digit points in his career with 9. That is just like, oh my God, with that statistic.
Hey, Trev, what would be your reaction for LeBron potentially his last game in Boston tonight? Like, what would be your reaction if you're going to the game? Were you cheering him?
Yeah, I mean, why? Look, I'm not even the biggest LeBron fan ever, but for what he's done to the league and the NBA, of course. And this guy, he's done it all as a good person. He doesn't have any scandals, any BS around him. I have a lot of respect for LeBron. He's not my GOAT. I grew up in the Jordan era.
Thank you.
But, you know, I respect what he's done. But I'll tell you, I think this is fodder for us on the outside. If I'm a Lakers fan, I'm like, yeah, he's our third option, and he should be. When you watch their games, it's Luka, it's Reeves, and then it's LeBron. And that's fine. Look, him and Tom Brady are the only two in history to take Father Time 12 rounds. I respect it. You're never going to beat Father Time. He's undefeated. Okay, give him hell. And LeBron has. I give him props to that.
Tom beat Father Time.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Ask Tom when he was throwing all of these tablets in Tampa if he beat and he lost his family for football. Tom will tell you. Father Time won, but I gave him hell. No, that's what LeBron's doing.
Tom made some personal decisions and lost, but as far as Father Time, he beat Father Time. Tom walked away still great. That's why we all sit around here and say he could still play today.
He looked that great to me in that last year.
LeBron and the Lakers have won 8 of 9. Reeves has been awesome.
Reeves
44 last night. The Celtics are 6.5-point favorites tonight. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can, because Luka's not playing.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Lakers. We don't know that, by the way, if he's not playing. I know he left it.
The line suggests he ain't playing.
That's true.
Isn't he still in Slovenia with his newborn? I mean, I'm not picking things up. Like,
who knows? Dude, Boston to Slovenia. I'm not ruling it out.
There's a direct flight to Logan.
This is a back-to-back for both teams.
Yes.
And I know that the Celtics are rolling.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't look past the Lakers tonight. I actually think they're a tough matchup for the Celtics.
I like this. Look, I like the Lakers to cover. I would make that bet. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Celtics win the game. They're playing well. You look at those recent wins. We talk about the Wizards because the Wizards suck. Some of these recent wins from the Celtics are very respectable.
You want to give props rightfully to J.J. Redick? You should, because this Lakers team is sitting at 16-5, second behind the Thunder in the Western Conference. Road record's 9-2. But no, I bring this up because like we get LeBron, Reeves, Luka, LeBron, Reeves, Luka. You want to know why we keep doing that? Because there's nobody else. This team has no depth whatsoever. Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, or the corpse thereof. Marcus Smart is on this team, like Jared Vanderbilt. Like, this team has no depth at all. And if it doesn't have Luka, you're damn sure the Celtics should be 6.5-point
Get your LeBron crying faces tonight. Get the latest. Up-to-date live Boston sports headlines along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday. Boston has entered the chat. Catch us live 8 a.m. and on Nessa Nation coming up next every Monday through Friday.